So, this podcast is going to be a little different. It's going to be a little more personal and hit more to home. I have my cousin here, and we decided to do this for. Well, I decided to do this more for, I guess, bring light to a situation that a lot of people deal with, and not a lot of people have a chance to talk about it or experience life outside of that sadness. So before we get into all that extra stuff, you want to explain to them or tell them who you are, your name, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
Just a little interview question.
Anthony Pritchard, as he said, his cousin. Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you like to do? What is your hobbies? What is all that fun stuff?
I play basketball at the University of Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly what
Is
my
what you
life
do?
is
It's centered
surrounded
around.
by.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, basketball is always a good time, but I like to get a little deeper into individuals and see what makes them a good basketball player, what makes them who they are. So, give me a little bit of an overview of your childhood and what that consisted of to get you to this point that you are now. Because TU, what is it, D1? D1? Yeah, so for the people who don't know your story, like I do, what made Anthony into the man that he is today?
I think just dealing with.
A little closer.
I think just dealing with the adversity, the poverty, growing up, just seeing that side of my life and knowing that is not what I wanna live like when I get older. So I think that just pushed me every day, to just change the atmosphere, change the environment I was living in. So that's just the motivation that I had every day. So just seeing the hard times that the fam went through, my mom went through, and stuff like that, just continue to make me wake up every day and just saying, I'm going to change that.
Yeah. So we all can say we change things and we want to change. What was your actions that you implemented in your life to make that change?
I think just staying away from all the bad stuff. Using, like you said, using basketball as an outlet. Staying in the gym. Make sure I'm in the house early. Stuff like that. Just keeping myself away from all the negative and all the things that usually pull people down and just minimize the chance of that happening.
Yeah. So when did you decide that basketball was going to be a way out for you, an escape?
Honestly, 8th grade. I always tell the story to people. It was one night I was just dribbling my basketball late night, probably about like 1 a.m., and some man pulled up and just I was getting ready to run, honestly. But
if you know where we're from, that would make sense.
So he pulled up and he just screamed like, "Aren't you Anthony Pritchard?" And at this time, it was a little mixtape that they somebody just came to one of my middle school games and they made. And so he just screamed like, continue to do what you do. Like, you're going to make an impact on people. You're going to change lives. And just hearing that from a stranger kind of gave me a thought in my head, like, you actually have a chance.
Yeah. So hearing that from a stranger, did that give you more of a motivation to do it, like you said, to help other people or to get other people out of poverty? Or did you do it knowing that it was a fulfillment for your happiness?
I could say both. Fulfillment for my happiness because, that was the main source that kept me happy when everything else was falling. Mm-hmm. And I would say it also gave me motivation to continue to do that for other people also, to change lives and do that and impact young kids based off where I'm from and stuff like that, because I felt that other people were acknowledging that I was doing the right thing. And so that continued to motivate me to continue to do what I was doing. Mm-hmm.
So we all go through adversity, and you said you made that change in 8th grade. So I'm going to ask you about adversity in different parts of your life. So from 8th grade to the end of high school into now that you're a sophomore in college, because each year or each little time period there had to have been something that probably set you back or discouraged you from achieving the goal. and I want to know what you did in order to continue to grow, because of course the environment takes a toll on you. Seeing our parents in the position that they're in takes a toll on you, and when that man told you you can be great, you can do this, what in your life at that time hindered you from maybe accepting that change, or did it get to the point where like, yeah, he's right, I'm gonna do this, but I still have some stuff I need to get over? Because 8th grade, no, middle, that's still middle school.
Yeah, it's still middle school.
You know, you're still growing into a man.
Yeah.
I don't even know if puberty is a thing. Probably 6th grade, 7th grade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're changing, getting taller, and getting stronger. So what at that point were you going through, and how did you overcome that? If you remember that.
In a basketball perspective, or
just basketball life. Well, let's talk about more life, because basketball, that's going to come with its own injuries. It's going to come with its own challenges. But as an individual, remember we were talking like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and I asked you who you are.
Yeah.
So all these questions, if I don't say basketball specifically, it's mostly about your life.
Okay. I would say like once I was in the basketball environment in that time, you said something I still have to overcome was actually having to like go back home. Like actually having to go back into the environment that basketball took me away from. So trying to have a balance and try to like, cause it's like I'm happy when I'm on a court or doing something with basketball, but going back into the environment that I'm trying to escape from was real hard, and not trying to fall back into the habits or fall into the stuff that I seen other people doing at that time, because it's, you know, where we from, like you gotta hustle, and so seeing like a quick hustle or certain people doing certain things to fulfill a right there moment satisfaction. So like not getting caught up in that and just trusting the process and trusting that the stuff that I'm doing, even though it may not be working as fast as I wanted to, that eventually is going to happen. So I think that was the biggest thing, just not falling back into the environment and just trusting the process and everything's going to work out.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a real good perspective to have, especially in 8th grade, because going into high school, that's the time, because people talk about college is when you find yourself. Yeah. High school is to me, the development of who you're going to be into your adult year. So having that that ideology of I need to stay on track and trust this process, because in the time that we grew up in the place, the process didn't make sense. You grew up, you lived off food stamps, you did this, you survived, and then you just lived there until you die. Yeah. So what was that like, trusting the process? What was, actually, let me rephrase the question. What was the highest in your life with trusting the process, and what was the lowest? For example, like, of course, you started high school basketball, you did that, so that can be a high. But is there anything else that you did that built character? Let me say that, by trusting the process.
Yeah, I got uncomfortable before I became comfortable. So I think going through a stage of being uncomfortable really was, it usually will be a person's lowest, but at that time I think it was the highest, because it set me up to become comfortable and become what I wanted to be. So I think that was my highest, just in the stage of growing, learning, and just being uncomfortable. I think I was at my highest, because I know in the back of my head that eventually I would be in the position that I wanted to be in.
Mm-hmm. And being uncomfortable in what aspect? Like opening up to people, being vulnerable, because of course you had different mentors in your life that took you under your wing, or under their wing, and you stayed with a lot of people. So was that what you were meaning by being uncomfortable, by opening up to these people to get help?
Yeah, very, like, definitely leaving, moving out my mom's house, 9th grade, that was definitely uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And just actually I grew up with all women, so like being open to a man was real tough. And so I moved into a house where it was a man in a house, and so I kind of struggled with that. We kind of bump heads sometimes and stuff like that. So yeah, just going through new things. Like I never had a man in the house, so that was real uncomfortable. Moving out the neighborhood, no friend, like the friends that you hung out with, stuff like that, you weren't hanging out with no more, and so it was kind of uncomfortable. It was real
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Well, if that was the highlight, which is a really good perspective, I've loved. We don't talk as much, so it's love. I love seeing the growth and the maturity that you speak with, because not a lot of people will say that being uncomfortable. I try to tell people in here to be uncomfortable. It changes your mindset and it makes you realize that you can be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
So, what was the low with trusting the process? Like, for example, with me, this podcast, this shit's not taking off as much as I want it to.
Yeah.
There's sleepless nights. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with it that I don't feel like the process is going to get to that point. So, did you ever feel that way?
Yeah, I definitely did. I think the lowest was for like I started my ninth grade year. I started waking up at 5:30 every day, working out, going 2 times a day, after practice, before practice, and I was just working and working and working, and I still haven't got to my junior year, and I still haven't received the a offer from school, and so I really struggled with that. I just kind of got lost in kind of questioning myself, like why am I doing this? It's not happening. Like I've been working, I've been busting my ass for a long time, and so it was real hard, like trying to stay on the same path that I had when I thought I had time, and so it was kind of hard when I feel like, dang, I'm running out of time. I'm a junior in high school. I haven't received the offer, so I feel like that was probably the lowest of trusting the process moment.
Right. Yeah, and we all have that insecurity within ourselves when we are not getting the recognition that we need. So to me, sometimes that goes to an underlining of different childhood stuff. I'm really big on mental illness and how our childhood can shape us into the individuals that we are, not knowing that it's doing so. So having that feeling of not being worthy or not good enough at that point, is there anything in your childhood that you felt that you didn't receive that made you hold on to these type of feelings? Because of course you were good, you were great, you was a starter, you did a lot of good things. So what made you feel, or is there anything that made you feel that feeling when you were a child? I was gonna get deep, man.
Yeah, nah.
Get really deep.
I mean, I think you know. I mean, how I acted, how I was as a kid. And I was kind of separated, kind of pushed to the side out of the family. And so I felt, honestly, sometimes I feel like some people will only love me because I'm doing good now.
I agree.
You know, so I mean, as a child, nobody ever wanted me around. I was a burden, and so I think I hold on to that because I kind of don't fully trust people on, to this day. Are you really here for my best interest or because I'm doing good?
Yeah, and that's why I tried to give you that pep talk the other day. It goes into having a coach or having teammates. Yeah. They're only gonna praise you when you do things that's beneficial to them or beneficial to the team. So, growing up with these mentors, is there anything that they taught you that proved to you that you wasn't a burden? Because sometimes we get these individuals in our lives that show us what love is and show us the right way, but we want it from our parents. We want it from people who actually, or who we actually truly love. So, is there anything that they did to at least help ease the pain? Because of course it's still there. Of course we see it transpire recently. So yeah, I mean, is there anything that they've done, or have you always felt like you were a burden?
Oh yeah, definitely not. The mentors definitely played a huge part. You know, Jamar, all them, just being able to have that family feeling outside of your real family at the Salvation Army. I think that played a huge part. I knew I can come to Jamar, James, or any of them, like, and talk to them, and they have my back like I'm like their own. So I think that's one of the big reasons I never really just crashed, because I had that second family away from home.
Yeah.
And like I had people that really wanted the best for me, even if it wasn't basketball or even if it wasn't going to benefit them. Like Jamal and them always used to tell me like whenever you make it, I don't want anything. I just want you to be successful. I just want you to be a great kid. I want you to be different from everybody else.
Right.
And so it was kind of different at home, because all they seen, it felt like at home all they seen was me going to turn out to be this negative person, turn out to be not this other person, and they really didn't see the brighter side. But Jamal and them, no matter how many times I got kicked out, no matter how many times I got in trouble, they always seen the brighter side.
Yeah.
Seen there was a chance.
Yeah, I agree, man. I tell people all the time that being raised by all women or a single mother, they raise us to be women. They don't raise us to be men because they can't. I see it with my son. There's certain things that I say to him that he understands coming from me than it would be with his mom.
Yeah.
And people may not agree, like, oh, he doesn't know gender, blah, blah, blah. To me, it's energy. He knows I'm his father. He knows that the way he needs to be acting is how I'm trying to shape him to be. So it's really good seeing that you had men that would continue to put up with you.
Yeah.
And I say that lightly because sometimes we are the source of the problem. Sometimes we are I wouldn't say unworthy of love, but sometimes it's hard to love individuals who we don't see happiness in or we don't see light in.
Yeah.
So it's good to have those people. But you were saying you didn't get an offer in 11th grade. When did that offer come, and what was your feeling when that finally came?
It came going into my senior year. I mean, I had a good season. It got cut short because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went and because it was at the time I was doing a YouTube channel, so I knew how to edit and knew how to do all that stuff. So I put some clips together. I made my own clips. I put it on Twitter. I sent it out to coaches, and then summertime going into my senior year, I got a call from UMKC, and that was my first offer. They offered me, and that kind of gave me a little extra motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I kind of had a little setback after the season, I really wasn't working out like that.
Well, you want to go into that and why you fell into that habit of not working out?
I was just back to when I said, like, I was questioning why. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting so much time? Why am I waking up at 5:30? Why am I staying late at the practice? And the result that I want is not happening. And like I said, I felt like I was running out of time, so I'm like, what's the point at that time? And I really wasn't thinking with the mindset of everybody flower blooms at different times.
Right.
Somebody flower might bloom 2 weeks after they planted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or 1 month. It's just different. People have different routes, and I wasn't really thinking like that. I was just trying to think like, dang, he's getting an offer. Why ain't getting an offer? I'm better than him. I'm working out. I'm in the gym, and so I kind of fell back into that habit. But when I got that offer of UMKC, it was kind of like I knew you could do this. Mm-hmm. So like and then it just got better. It just got better and better.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful to hear, especially getting to a point, because sometimes I feel like when you're questioning why you're doing this, you're supposed to be doing it.
Duh.
Does that make sense? And do you think it's because of the effort that you made outside of the gym? You said you made your own clips and sent it to different coaches. Do you think if you wasn't that motivated or that willing to be successful that you would have gotten these offers? Because was one of the coaches that you got an offer from, did you send them your clips, or was it just a different...
Yeah, he's sitting on Twitter. So
okay,
I
well, shit, because even then, it's a good thing. So once you found out that all your hard work is paying off, and this can be reality. Like your dream is to be in the NBA, and it's so close with that offer.
Yeah.
What more did you do outside of basketball that prepared you to be this individual? Like, did you try to talk to more? Because being an athlete, I'm not an athlete.
No.
I don't know what all struggles. I'm not getting up at 5. Like, of course, I box and I do that for an hour and I go home. But is there more that you did to try to seek mental help from other people? Like, hey, I'm about to go into this. What do I need to do? How do I need to do this? Is there anything that you can give me for me to prosper into this new realm?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I used to talk to Coach Rod all the time about just the process. Just talking about how like just how hard it was, how things would change.
Mm-hmm.
But once like back to getting the first offer, when that happened, it was just like a spark inside that just gave me that little extra kick, the extra like the answer to my questioning of why you was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so like,
and what was okay? So that's now knowing the end story. Like, I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but knowing what happened a couple of days ago,
yeah.
What was your answer on why you were doing this? Why were you doing it? Because of course it was fulfillment, but getting offers, you're saying, oh, now I'm supposed to be doing this. What did these offers put inside of you that made you feel like you were doing this, or that you should be doing this? Because like, let me give you an example. For me, I feel like podcasting can help individuals like myself, you, people on YouTube to think differently, to live a better and healthier life. So is there anything with basketball that getting these offers you thought, shit, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah, because leading back up to like the story of all the work,
Mm-hmm.
all that, and it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, making a living from playing basketball, and this offer is just a step to get where I was going. So when I say I made a little setback, because I'm like, dang, like I'm taking all these steps, but it's a step that I need to take that I haven't gotten,
Right.
in order to get to the ultimate goal. And so I think getting that step made me just want to keep running up the stairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now that I'm older and that I'm a father, I always look at things as like a coin. There's heads and then there's tails. And I feel like your answer was the heads. And my answer will be the tails. For me, I feel like that was your calling because it built characteristics in your life that you needed for that time being, that you needed to grow into the man that you are now. Waking up at 5, that's dedication. When you're 30 and you're trying to do a business, you're trying to do whatever, waking up at 5 is going to be easy for you. Yeah. Putting in the work to be better than other individuals who are trying to do the same thing that you were doing, but not putting in that work. That's why I feel like you're meant to do that. Because now we're questioning what you want to do. You know, it's difficult to now say, and this is my passion, because sometimes it's not. But you're still having those characteristics of when you were a teenager doing all these things to get you to this point. Yeah. So I just wanted to let you know that that's how I saw this perspective. So coming, of course, COVID ended your senior year. What was your accolades out of high school? Like everything that you achieved?
So freshman year, we went to the state semifinals. We lost there. Sophomore year, we lost to the game to go to state tournament. But I think my sophomore year, I reached 1,000 points.
Damn.
And so my junior year, we won like all the tournaments that we played in, like regular season. We were Green Country conference champions, 23-5. we was going to state tournament, but it got canceled because of COVID.
Right.
And I won. I was Green Country Player of the Year my junior year.
Excited.
Senior year, Green Country Player of the Year again.
So shit, they were stupid for not giving you these offers. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were tripping. 2-time Green Country. I don't know how big of an accolade, but that shit sounds important.
Yeah. Then we went to the state semifinals my senior year where we lost.
Mm-hmm.
But I earned 2,000 points that game. I mean that year.
Mm-hmm.
Second all-time leading scorer at Webster High School.
Okay.
Who
was number one so we could fight them?
David Ward.
We're good. Never mind. Never mind.
And so, yeah, I got like a little like some awards. Middle Night Player of the Year. I got some.
Got hella women.
Some
some groupies.
Championship MVPs.
Okay.
All that, yeah. So there were some accolades that I got.
That's exciting, man. So now that you are a well-known basketball player, basically a legend at Webster, how many offers did you have by the end of senior year? And what made you choose the school that you're at now?
So I had about 5 offers. I was actually signed to a different school, Tennessee Tech, before I came to Tulsa.
Is that D1 as well?
Yeah. So I was signed to Tennessee Tech, and yeah, just personal reasons I couldn't be there.
Yeah, no, I've felt that like you. So I got accepted to Langston. It's a HBCU.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to leave everybody. Of course, having that not having that push to be great, or not having the parents that not force me in a sense, but not give me an option to come back home. And sometimes I think where would I be if I would have went? What kind of man would I have turned out to be? But I am excited for the man that I am now, because who knows if I would have went there, if I would have been this cool of a person.
Yeah.
But we all have these accolades. We all have offers. But you were mentioning you guys were 23-5. Right?
23-5.
And then you lost the championship.
No. I got canceled because of COVID.
Okay.
We was going to win that year, though.
They were going to win that. My bad. Okay, so, and earlier you were talking about being uncomfortable. But losing, that's a different type of uncomfortable feeling. How were you at losing, and what did that, what did you get from losing? Yeah.
I don't take losing well. I mean, anything. I'm a very competitive person. I mean, no matter what we playing, who I'm playing against,
right?
I ain't gonna let the person beat me. I ain't gonna let them win.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of something I'm struggling with right now. The last 2 years at Tulsa, we haven't been winning a lot. We haven't been, we've been losing, and so it's very hard on myself, because I never really lost like that.
Yeah, 23-5. That's pretty good.
So I never really been in a situation where I'm losing so much, and as being the point guard, it's kind of a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. But I don't do well with losing. Yeah. I don't, like, no matter what it is, who I'm playing against.
Yeah, and I notice there's sometimes a difference between competitiveness and a drive to always win, if that makes sense. Like, to me, competitive is I'm going to give my all, and if I lose, that's cool, and if I win, that's great as well. And like I said earlier, I tried to put everything back in perspective from when we were children. Yeah. If we didn't lose, or if we didn't win, we got made fun of, and you had to hear it multiple times. People will make jokes, blah blah blah. So, do you think having that quote unquote competitive edge was from different childhood stuff that you didn't want to feel anymore?
Oh, definitely. Just growing up, like you said, like we were losing already in life and as a kid, and so we were always pushing ourselves to win, and that doesn't mean that can mean, oh, I'm gonna push myself to get A's so I can come home, show my mom so she can be proud of me. I'm gonna be on time for curfew. I'm gonna win this race just to fulfill to feel good about something. So I feel like we were already in the losing lifestyle, so we always push ourselves to win in a certain way. So I think that carried over to the sports.
Yeah. And for me, I don't like to think that I need people's approval.
Yeah.
But I do. Deep down, like, and that's why I love podcasting, because I no longer lie to myself. If I sit here and tell you, oh, I don't need people's approval, it's gonna eat me up saying, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Like, why would you lie? And I love when people tell me how good I am doing, because growing up with 4 other siblings and a mom who's an alcoholic and a dad who pick and chooses when he wants to be a father or not having that, you did a good job, or way to go, or certain shit like that. Now it's like, do you see me now? Do you see how good I am now? Do you love me now? And I feel like that's what a lot of us were looking for. And when we didn't get it, we started to look towards other people that were older, that didn't have the same shit that we had, but it was validation from somebody. So I feel like that's the reason why a lot of kids get to a point to where it's too much. It gets, because when I looked into your eyes, I saw that I didn't know that feeling, and I saw that look in a lot of people. A lot of people think it's sadness, but that's emptiness. It's brokenness. Yeah. So going into, or actually, excuse me, you signed, or you committed to Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech, yeah.
What made you? Because you could have went to Stillwater, you could have went to Norman, but you stayed in Tulsa.
Oh yeah. So when I decommitted, Tulsa was the first school that reached out, and at the time, the coach that was there was Frank Haith. I knew Coach Haith since I was a freshman. They kind of recruited me my freshman year, sophomore year.
Of high school. Yeah.
Okay. So they kind of recruited me, and Coach Haith, I can really relate to Coach Haith. At a high level, he understood me, understood where I came from, how I acted, how I moved, how I responded to certain things. And so when we chopped it up on the phone, I gravitated towards Tulsa a lot, not because it was where I was from, but because who was there at the time. He kind of grew up similar background, so he's very understanding, and he kept it 100.
Yeah.
At the time, he kept it 100, and so that was a place where I wanted to be, where I could trust somebody to have a clean filter, and just no matter how I felt, he would always keep it 100 with me, even if it was something I didn't want to hear. I knew it was the best thing for me.
Yeah, and that's what I love about life, man. Is like we have different individuals at different parts in our time that strengthen us when we need it. You had Jamar and James when you were a child, or when you were a teenager. Now you're a grown man, and now you can connect to a man on a personal level, or he can connect to you. What was it like finally telling people you committed to you? And you were saying sometimes you don't know if people are there for you or for the accolades. Did you notice at first that people started to come around more, started to call you more? Or was it just, oh, they're really proud of me?
Yeah, that, and also I think some people were proud. It was just an excitement to a lot of people just being able to see me play at that level. Tulsa kid, so a lot of people start reaching out for tickets. Like some people that never came and watched me play my whole high school career start reaching out for tickets. So I wanted to be at the games. And so I think it was just an excitement for the city. I've probably been the first Tulsa kid to play at Tulsa since like 2002, I think.
Okay.
And so it was just a huge excitement for a Tulsa kid, a Tulsa community, I think.
Basically, what he's saying, Tulsa niggas can't hoop. That's basically what he's saying.
Nah. They just.
I actually met this dude.
We had some people that was nice, and Tulsa just at the time wasn't recruiting a lot of kids from Tulsa.
I feel I met this guy. He went to OKC. He was like, "Yeah, man, we did a 4-peat in my high school. I beat everybody in basketball over here." I was like, "Dude, we're doing the same thing. Don't try to act cool."
Are you talking about he's from Oklahoma City?
I think so. He's like tall, not really tall, but I think he was light skinned.
Yeah,
I'll show you in a video after this.
They were trying to compare the Oklahoma City versus the Tulsa.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know nobody in Oklahoma City. So what does that, saying all that, did that weigh heavy on you? That because at the end of the night, when all the fans, all the women, all the excitement of being a TU basketball player,
yeah.
What was it like by yourself? How did you cope with everything? How did you figure out how to move in this environment?
At first I was struggling. Well, still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Just a different struggle as my freshman year. And now, my freshman year, I wasn't playing a lot at the beginning of the season, but I just continued to work, continued to just kept the same mindset, but my role wasn't as big, so I didn't have to worry as much. Going to my sophomore year, I knew that I would have a bigger role, bigger dependency, bigger commitment to not just the team, but the University of Tulsa, and also the Tulsa community. And so, the pressure of just not letting nobody down really gets to me a lot. And that's with fam, that's with my mom, with grandma, with Lexi, with y'all, like with everybody. A lot of people expect me to do good, and sometimes I feel the pressure of that. I'm not doing my best to reach the potential that I want to get to.
Right.
Like, of course, like right now, I think I'm averaging I was averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds, but like where I want to go, that's not good enough.
Right.
I mean, it's good. I'm a sophomore. It takes time to develop. Going back to from my freshman year to my senior year in high school, like I understand it developing, but
college is a little different.
It's a little different, yeah.
Some people go one and done. Some people go sophomore year. Now sophomore year is almost over.
Yeah.
So I see what you're talking about. But we're not going to get into sophomore year just yet. I want to stay in your freshman year. You were saying you didn't have a big role. Did that take that dog out of you a little bit?
Yeah, no, definitely. Not dog, but like I would say the confidence of the player that I knew I could be. I was. I was talking to my mom yesterday. She was saying that like the player that you should go back and watch some videos. Like the player that you were, like it's never, it haven't left. And you just got to bring it out. And I think kind of my freshman year, it kind of pushed me back, not having a role, being a freshman and not really getting the minutes that I thought I deserved. Like I ended up starting, but like if I shot some shots or something like that, I was getting taken out. I didn't have a long rope, and so people seeing, why are you complaining? You're starting freshman, playing minutes, but it was like you were playing with. I was playing with the mindset of not wanting to get taken out.
I'm only here to make these people better.
Yeah.
I'm not here to add to the team. I'm just adding to their personal stats. No, I totally feel that. So do you think if your role was better or the coach allowed you to do more, do you think that sadness you hold over yourself of not being good enough, do you think that would have took a little bit off of it? Because being a freshman, you get your new legs. Like you have to play with harder competition. You have to do. So you think if you had more of a leniency, that it would have not toughened you up, but made you not put you in this mindset of maybe I'm not doing good enough.
Yeah, no, definitely, because it would have gave me a chance to, like you said, going back to the acknowledgement from other people, and like that doesn't mean you depend on what they have to say, but what they have to say does make an effect.
Yeah.
And so I think if I would have had the chance to actually show like what I could do more instead of what I had to do in order to be on the floor. And so I think it would have made me calmer, made me just be able to out there and just play no matter what. Would have definitely released some pressure off of I'm not doing good enough, because I know the people that's watching expect me to be doing this, but I have to do this.
Yeah. And especially, Anthony, get me a ticket, blah, blah, blah. And now you're either on the bench, 9 points, or you lose.
Yeah.
And now you have to look at these people and say, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I want you to be proud of me, but we lost. I barely was even out there, so how can you be proud of me? Yeah. So I could see where that frustration comes from. And it still is lingering. So after your freshman year and in the summer, what did that look like? Did you continue working out? Did you give yourself a break because you didn't think sophomore would be any better? Or did you already have that from the coach that, hey, your role will be a little better?
Oh, yeah. So actually after the season, my freshman year, Coach Chafe resigned. Okay. So we got a new coach, Eric Concord, that's here now. And this is in sometime I'm working out, and me and Coach Concord talked, and he just explained like what type of role he would want me to have. And so I knew coming into my sophomore year that I was going to have a bigger role, because I had prepared myself, telling myself like, oh, this is just going to be like high school. Freshman year I played my role because we had David Ward on the team at the time.
Right.
And so sophomore year, I came out with a different mindset of like, it's time to take over.
Yeah.
And so coming out sophomore year, I kind of had that mindset. And so I worked, but it kind of changed whenever like the time came to play, because you just want to be out there to play, and you want to make sure your teammates and all are good, and you want to win. So the competitiveness of like, it's time to take over kind of flared away, because I'm like, I got to make sure he's good. He's good. Because I want to win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And so that's a huge personal challenge. I'm trying to, like you said, going back to doing things for me, not necessarily like selfishnessly, but like just not playing to make other people happy, but playing to play with them.
Yeah. And that's what people get upset with LeBron about. He's about to break the record, hopefully today. And people were like, well, what if he loses? Or he has a losing record? What does that matter? Your goal was to make it to the NBA. Your goal was to make this amount of money to help your family.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes life gives us little hints on what we really need to be doing, and it uses what we're good at to show us. You were making sure all these other people were okay just to win. And I feel like if it was really I believe you'll make it to the NBA. But I feel like if it was a true calling, fuck what they talking about. I'm about to get 20, 25, 7. 25 and 7. And what, 3, 4, or 5 rebounds? That's NBA high, like that's draftable.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes we want to have the achievement of he's a good player or he's a good teammate so much that we're losing sight of what we really need to be doing.
Oh my god.
No, go ahead.
No, I definitely agree with that. And like that doesn't necessarily mean be a bad teammate, but I think a lot of the time college athletes do lose the sight of their goals when they get in a team aspect. Because honestly, like after you're done with college basketball, like I mean the coaches care about you and stuff like that, but like if you don't achieve your goal, it's not hurting them at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's like going back to when I was talking to you the other day, and I was telling you need to find people that support you.
Yeah.
You can tell your coach I ran 2 extra miles. He would be like, great job. You're doing the right thing. Or you can go to him and say, I'm not running 2 miles, and he'd be like, do you want this? Are you even devoted to basketball? You know, what's going on?
Yeah.
But in hindsight, he's only doing that for you to play better, for him to keep his job. And that's what a lot of, in my opinion, athletes get misconstrued, is that they think these coaches are there for them. Because we had mentors that were our coaches sometimes in middle school or in high school, and we think when we get into this adult world that they really give a fuck.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't. Like, coaches make good money, you know, depending on who you are or where you're from. You're just another face they got to see for 4 years, or for whatever the case may be. So I can see where that's frustrating.
Yeah, and I don't think that's with every coach. Like the coaches I got now, I think they really truly care about me.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well, shout out to y'all then.
Yeah, nah, they definitely truly care about me. But like, just I think sometimes, yeah, just getting caught up in the, like, sometimes coaches say, like, don't be selfish, like, put the team first. And like, just because you're being selfish about wanting to achieve your own goals doesn't necessarily mean you're pushing the team to the side.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because no, that makes sense. Like, that's the thing. I'm gonna make sure everybody eats, but at the end of the day, when I go home to my dorm and I close my eyes, I only see my name on the back of that jersey. Yeah. I don't see TU. I don't see the starting 5. I see Anthony Pritchard. So these coaches, sometimes what you say can be twisted into something different, because maybe they didn't mean only score 9 points, only do this, but sometimes that's how we perceive it. Yeah. Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing the most? Like, sometimes I'm reaching out to people multiple times to be on a podcast. I'm like, man, am I bothering them? No, this is your passion. This is your drive to be great. But also I'm having these other people on to make them feel good as well. Yeah. You know, so it's beneficial for both of us, but also beneficial for people that are watching, people who I will come in contact with, my son, my siblings, whatever the case may be. So maybe that was, something that he could explain better to you, because shit, that's hard. Having that competitiveness, not wanting to lose, wanting to feel that validation of being good or being great, and then having someone say, hey, put the team first. Yeah. Well, shit, that's what I thought I was doing by scoring all these fucking points so we can win, or, doing above and beyond things. So,
and also, you say above and beyond, but also doing less to put the team first. Yeah. You know? And so, like sometimes, then that's why some people get caught in, dang, am I actually on the road to achieve what I want to achieve? Because I'm doing less of what is expected to get to where I want to be. But in the environment I'm in right now, that's what I have to do.
Yeah. And did your coaches? Okay, so I don't know how many people on a team are there to be NBA players. Yeah. I knew this guy in high school. He only played high school football just to have something to do. Yeah. Is it like that in college? Was it like that in college? And did your coaches know that you wanted to take the next step into being an NBA player?
Oh yeah, they definitely know I want to become a pro, and I think that's everybody's mindset and goal on the team, on the college team. When you ever go, I don't think. I mean, the ones that know. After college, I'm done. Yeah. But I think everybody has that goal coming into. I think usually you know that by junior, senior year. Like, okay, like after college, I'm done with basketball. But the coaches definitely know. I tell the coaches all the time I want to be a pro. And that doesn't necessarily mean make it to the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that is a goal of mine. I play pro anywhere. Right. Like overseas, G League, NBA.
Dude, and it's now, and that's why, I'm glad you were on, and I'm glad we can talk about this. It's like success in our dream is different, or it can be different from the success of our dream in reality.
Yeah.
Of course, like you said, you want to be in the NBA, but being pro somewhere else can develop you way more than it would have sitting out on the bench for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You know, not being behind a good point guard like a Kyrie or who I don't watch basketball that much, but sometimes we have to look at it as a broad picture. You know,
no, definitely.
Sometimes we only see our line from beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
But if we saw it as just a big ass circle and see it that this little thing will make this a whole lot better. You know, sometimes if we have too much of something at one point, we spoil it for the future. And sometimes we don't get that. Sometimes we want, like you said, that immediate satisfaction. But going into sophomore year now, before everything transpired, what did that look like? Knowing that this was your time to shine. This was going to be a repeat of high school sophomore Anthony.
Yeah, going into sophomore year, I mean, I thought I was gonna perform a lot better than what I did.
Mm-hmm. And this is where it's averaging 9, or was that freshman year?
No, I'm averaging 9 now.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, just like certain things, like I just had to push it aside again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I'm not the best scorer on the team.
Okay.
But I know I can score, and I felt just given that more opportunity to do that. Like I had the ball in my hands a lot, but I don't think it necessarily was to score. All I hear is like, gotta make sure you get people open and give them shots. But like, I mean, but that's one of my best attributes. But I also can do this.
Yeah.
I also can do that, and so, sophomore year season, and until I'm performing the way I'm performing, and the thing was like I do different things every game. I might score this much, I might get this many assists, I might do that, but none of it was. No matter what I did, still wasn't good enough for us to help. So I think I put too much pressure on myself going into sophomore year. The expectation probably a little too big.
Yeah. No, and that's how it can get, especially being not timid, but being not your full self on the court.
Yeah.
Did you have a specific way that you were going to play each game? Like, okay, I'm going to try to focus on this because maybe the team needs this more. Or I'm going to try to do this because maybe I didn't do as well last game.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. That was the thing. Like, I try to switch the way I played instead of just playing aggressive, because I never had to be told to play aggressive. Sometimes I'm hold back based off what other people has to say.
So what do you think was the change from, well, you said from what people had to say, but was there anything else from playing aggressive in high school and then playing aggressive in college? What do you think took that aggression away? Is it because of what other people were saying? Or?
Yeah, no, definitely what other people were saying. Like, basically what other people think. That's a bad shot. That's a bad this, bad that. Or even, yeah, because, like, just playing with the mindset of not having to think about everything you do is probably the best thing. Like, a lot of people think it's confidence, but it's aggressiveness. Aggressiveness you can't have confidence without aggressiveness.
Yeah, and that's how I think. Like, I don't think I'll be a professional boxer. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
But when I work out, or when I hit the heavy bag, I know what I'm doing. I feel the combination landing. I feel like they're effective if I do get into a fight or sparring. But when I do spar, I think about what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
Am I going to throw a jab? Am I going to throw a hook? Or is this combination going to land? as I'm thinking, I'm getting punched in my shit like multiple times. So it's like having that aggression, but also having that muscle memory to use that ability that you've worked on,
Yeah.
and let it take control of you instead of you trying to control it. So was there anything like that, or would you like to start doing that in the future? Just letting your game play out.
No, yeah, definitely. And just getting back to the mindset of like, this is what you do. Like nothing.
This is who you are.
You've been doing this your whole life. Been playing ball. It's the same game. You just gotta find yourself again.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing right now. Just finding myself on and off the basketball court. Just getting back to that like that mentality of like I've been working my whole life for this. Like what's stopping me from doing this? What's stopping me from performing the way I'm performing? Like you've been ready for this, you know. And just telling myself like you are that player, you are that dude.
You're that guy, and that's beautiful because when a lot of people don't know this, but I did stand-up comedy before I did podcasting, and I was in a comedy class to learn how to set up jokes, learn how to basically be a professional comedian. And as I was driving there, I was always nervous, but I was telling myself, this is what you were meant to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be here. So being here, are you going to take that advantage from what life has given you?
Yeah.
Or are you going to let this other person who is trying twice as hard but not as good as you take your spot? You know, and I feel like that's what we both need to get back into, especially with podcasting. I see, like, there's some people I don't subscribe to because I'm jealous in a sense. You know, like, fuck, they're way more successful. I don't think I can say or connect with people like they are connected with people. But who am I to down myself? Because what if there's some shit I can say that they can't?
Yeah.
What if there's some people I can reach that they can't? So it's beautiful that you have that mindset of finding who you are. And when I saw you the other day, I asked you who you are, and I don't remember if you gave me an answer. But at the end of the podcast, I'll ask you that same question, and hopefully, going through all this stuff, there will be a definite answer.
Yeah.
But okay, we're gonna get into the stuff that transpired. Tell me how that led up, and if you want to tell them what, just give me your side of the story. And feel free to take your time. Feel free to feel emotion, whatever the case may be. I won't even look at you if that makes you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, it was just, we just came off a losing game again, about 2 nights before. I was sitting up in my car, the night before that situation happened. Just thinking, and it was the same cycle, getting up, working hard, getting up, nothing's going my way type of feeling. Things going on with my mom, stuff like that, just all piling up. And the morning we were supposed to have weights, and I just told myself, like, why am I even getting up and doing this again? And so, and I was just telling myself I can't let anybody down if I'm not here. And so that's when I took initiative to go walk. I walked. I drove to the Turkey Mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walked around there, and I walked to the bridge. And my phone was on D&D, so I wasn't getting no calls, no nothing in my pocket. And then I'm standing on the other side of the bridge, and I'm not gonna say the name of the person that called, but they were emergency contact on my phone. And it wrong.
So that goes through even.
That goes through even if it's on D&D.
Okay.
So it rung, yeah, got me. It paused me a little bit. It rung, and right as I look at my phone, somebody drive past and scream, "Don't do it." And then I crawled back. I climbed back over, sat down, cried, and called my coach. Called one of my coaches and just told him I need help.
It's it's a sad story, like, because a lot of people relate to that feeling. But what I got from that story, especially the ending, it shows how beautiful life is. A man drove by and told you you can be great. Another person drove by and told you you deserve to live. Two different people, two different circumstances, and it is going to make you into the man that you are now.
Duh.
And it's crazy that some people don't have. Not everybody believe in God, but the sign from God or sign from the universe, whomever you think it's from. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have this quote unquote therapy session. And it's beautiful that these things happened at the right time, because it shows you, regardless of your emotion, regardless of the people in your life, there are people who look at you and know that you belong. You know, that person could have just kept driving. You know, that person couldn't have called. There's certain things that we don't pick up in adversity that is the main learning point that we need to hold on to.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know, in my relationship, me and my son's mom, we separated, and now she doesn't live with me no more. Am I gonna take this opportunity to feel upset, or am I gonna look deeper into the sadness and say, well, maybe I can grow as a man in this area? Maybe I can build myself more in this area. Maybe I can work out harder because of this pain. I can use it as motivation. So are you looking at your life like that now? Or, of course, you're still sad. I mean, I'm not going to say put words in your mouth, but how are you feeling now? And now that you asked for help, is there two-part questions? How are you feeling now? And now that you asked for help, is there help coming? Or how
oh, yeah. So I got two of them. How I'm feeling right now, I mean, I feel a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, just like the last 2 days, being around the most people, the people that I care about the most, and just them not even worrying about basketball, or anything like that. They just support me, and just knowing like the things I actually can live for.
And it's them.
It's a lot more than the game.
Yeah. You have a beautiful niece. You have a beautiful sisters. Your mom's amazing. Like,
no, yeah, definitely. So the thing about the help situation, you know, my coach was talking to me, you know, trying to get help, like I got counseling on Mondays.
Good.
But we both agreed that we felt like that wasn't enough. That's not enough. And so right now they're looking into just getting me to a place where I can go get help.
Mm-hmm.
And it's away from them, away from family, away from everybody that I know and knows Anthony, and just getting going around some people that don't know me, where I can just find myself and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if you still have that picture that you took of the notes.
Yeah.
But one of them is to find, individuals to surround yourself with. I don't know if you saw my video with this guy named Frank Thompson. He was an alcoholic, a drug user. and he is a rapper. So of course you're around other musicians who party and don't really care. But I think he was in Florida, and he was like, "I'm about to slip," regardless of what it was, drinking, drugs. But he found a group of people that were meeting that day. Yeah. So, ironically, and he went there and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this," and having that support system, he is now still sober. He still is going strong, but there always will be. I feel like now that you get to that point, it's easier to get there.
Yeah.
But it's also easier to be happy. Now you can ask my brother. My whole teenage years, I was super depressed. I was super self-conscious. I wasn't the individual that I was now.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think of that, and I think of how much time I lost and how much relationship that I didn't get to explore fully, or how many girls that I let slip because I didn't think I was good enough.
Yeah.
And now it's as if that person is no longer alive. I was talking to someone before I came here, and I was telling, where she asked me, girls cry more than guys in certain situations. So I was like, no, that's not necessarily true. I cried yesterday over my relationship, to keep it 100. But when I tell people about my past, or tell people about my sad times, or how I treated my son's mom, I am talking as if I'm talking about somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that individual will never do these things again. So why am I going to make it personal? Everything that she's telling me that I did wrong in the relationship, everything that I'm telling myself, or not even telling myself, excuse me, but she's telling me what other people may tell me, that shit's dead. Because now that doesn't control my life. That way of thinking doesn't control my life. So either you're going to get to know this new and improve me, or you're going to see how successful I'm going to be now that I defeated that person who I was.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm happy that you are now getting the help that you need. And I hope that you look more into mental illness, because childhood trauma, okay, so I love making my stuff personal. So when my mom was talking to you, she was drunk. I have childhood trauma from seeing that, because all the things that she used to say to me, either if it was good, if it was bad, she sometimes didn't remember the next day. And that's why I had her leave the room, because it was hard for me to be around that, because I'm still struggling with that. Or sometimes when my dad gets upset with certain things, it's hard for me to stick up for myself, even though I'm a grown-ass man, even though I have my own child. It's hard for me, because now that hurt is still there.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't affect me as much as it does, seeing that shit reminds me of the scared boy, of the boy who wanted love.
Yeah.
The one who had to struggle or had to find happiness from other people. It's still there. Like I said, it's easy to get back to that point since you've been there. But shit, I'm here talking to you. Yeah. I'm still continue trying to do what I need to do to make this work. So what have you learned about your mental state now that you gotten to this point? Like now do you feel you need to take care of it more?
No,
do you think
definitely. I never really took initiative of focusing on it and talking to somebody about it, mm-hmm. and releasing it, because I just let it build up over time, and I was definitely at probably like the scariest moment of my life, to be honest. And so it really made me realize, like, you need to take this serious.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter, I talked to my coaches about, like, going to a place might make me uncomfortable.
But you're used to that.
But is it the best? Is the best thing? Is the best thing? Is being uncomfortable the best thing to get into the right mental stage? And
yeah, well, sometimes our actions or our lives answer that question for us.
Yeah.
You wasn't uncomfortable when you decided to do that. You were sad. You were broken. Not uncomfortable.
No.
You weren't uncomfortable playing basketball. You were a little nervous. You were this. So it got you to that point. So being uncomfortable has to do something different than what you were already doing. So sometimes, try to pick up. I mean, you're still young, and I still have a lot to learn as well. But try to pick up on what your life already plays out for you. The word foreshadowing back in, oh my goodness, grade school, whatever. It gives information for the future of what's going to happen. You saw that this shit didn't get you to where you needed to be mentally, physically, whatever the case may be. Well, let's see what. Open up. And let's see what this is going to happen next.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to see that. It's beautiful to see that you're taking that initiative to try to get to a place, even though you don't know where that place is going to take you. So, again, ending with that question, who are you? Outside of basketball, outside of sadness, outside of everything, who are you? And if you don't know, that's beautiful as well. I had this girl on who had mental illness, and I asked her, did she love herself? And she said no. But she is working on loving herself, and she's working on trying to be that individual that is happy, so who are you?
Honestly, I think I'm a influencer.
In which aspect? Like as a mentor,
and I don't mean influencer through basketball, but I think this influencer of me overcoming everything I overcome, and just giving people hope and giving people a chance, knowing there's a chance.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say I'm an influencer. I think when somebody asks me who am I think I would answer I am an influencer to the young people that are going through the stuff that I went through. And
well, now that you say that, we are an hour and 13 minutes in. Let's end it by influencing the people who may see this, who are athletes, who are thinking about becoming athletes, because you can tell them shit that I can't. So we just want to talk to them, and then we'll end. Be an influencer, cousin.
Yeah. First, I just want to say, depression is definitely real. No matter what you're going through, if you're feeling it, just talk to people. A lot of us as males get caught up in having to be tough and deal with everything on your own. But some battles you need help fighting. You need help fighting. So I would say just don't let things build up. Once you start to feel that feeling, that depression, just talk to somebody. It definitely releases some stress, release a lot of stuff. Opening up doesn't make you weak, but not talking will make you weak. You're strong when you open up, because it takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of will to do that. And it will make a big effect on yourself. So I say that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and I'm really excited to see the end goal of your life, in the sense of like we never defeat depression. Even though I want to say I defeated my own depression, we can't. We can only we can conquer it. We can't defeat it.
No.
And when I say that is, I'm gonna get depressed. I'm a human, but that's not gonna. I'm only gonna be sad, maybe 2-3 days. Yeah. But that shit's not gonna ruin. It's not gonna ruin my life. It's not gonna get to the point to where I lose my house, I lose my son, I lose all that stuff. So hopefully, and I don't care how long it takes, I can see the man that looks back on the young man who did what you tried, or was trying to do what you tried to do, and sympathize for that young man, but also embrace that because you survived.
Yeah, definitely.
You're alive. So that's really it for me. Actually, word of encouragement. So I really meant what I said the other day, is your accomplishments and your hard work motivated me to get to this point that I am. Of course, my child, of course, wanting to be great, but seeing that a younger cousin or a younger family member showed me how strong we can be if we dedicate our life to this. So I want to say thank you for that. I'm excited that you wanted to be on. It shows a lot of growth. It shows that you are willing to conquer this depression by even being on. I saw you that day and was like, hey, now I can be on. Like, not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to be vulnerable. And having that vulnerability shows the type of man that you are. With my son, I let him cry. I tell him I love you. I kiss him still. It's to show him that being comfortable with yourself and being comfortable with other men shows what a leader is. Showing what, I always like to have humans and animals coexist, in the sense of, in a wolf pack, you have the leader and you have everybody else. That leader has to make decisions that is beneficial to everybody else. I have to make decisions to where it's his time to lead. He's not going to die. He's not going to fail. So I'm glad that you're taking that initiative to grow and to learn, to where you come up, or when you come to having your own child, or you may be a mentor, now you can lead these young men or women to be the leader of their own pack, per se.
Yeah, definitely.
So I appreciate you being on. That's really all I got to say.
Of course.
Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for watching. Hopefully this is a learning experience for a lot of people. I know this lady. She was actually on my podcast. She just tried to kill herself a couple of days ago. So this has been really heavy on my heart, and I hope people really take this shit seriously, because, like I told you, death is permanent. You have 365, 366 on a leap year to change. Don't think that you can't be a burden when you're not here, because now that pain of missing you, and that void is way worse than being a burden. Because at least we can see you. At least we can know that you're alive. But yeah, man, that's it. Thank you, everyone, again. May your pain be champagne.